Thanks, Mark.
I'm Tom.
And another Saturn product review for you. This week we're looking at Automator from Gary Jones and Chris Congreve. Bit of an older effect in a flash by Jay Sankey.
Bit of a favourite of both of ours, I think.
And this, which we'll come on to a little bit later on. Now, Automator. Tom.
Well, I've been looking forward to this DVD release for a while because I've seen both Gary and Chris lecture a couple of times this year, and I've seen some of the little bits that I knew were going to be on it. It's 9 effects that are all self-working, but they're all hard-hitting. If this DVD had been available when I was getting into Magic, it would have just improved my learning curve so much. There's everything on there. There's card effects on there. There's fire effects on there. There's stuff with borrowed items in your phone. Do you want to talk about individual effects or just the ones that?
Yeah, sure. I've left my notes on the table.
That's a bit embarrassing. I can
probably just grab them.
We go through them in order. And
there's 9 effects on there.
Yeah. So.
Which are very. They're all very good. They're all self-working.
Yeah.
So just follow the instructions and they work.
And they're all nicely self-working as well. None of this self-working card tricks where you pick a number between 12 and 32 and you can. They all naturally flow. Obviously the video quality is amazing. It's by 452, but Gary and Chris have been making DVDs together for years, and that shows. Live performance of everything, and then a nice explanation sat at the table.
And there's 9 things, as you said. There's 5 that we picked out as which is quite a lot of highlights for a 9-trick DVD. Normally you're lucky if you get 1 or 2 good ones on a 9.
Yeah. And when I say highlights, these are ones I actually work as well.
So we've got Metal Sheep, which I'll say at the start, we do stock the 10p, 2p coins required to do those. So just put 10p, 2p into a search box on the website and you'll find the coins you need.
Or check out the first show that we did. We talked about it on there.
You need 2 coins to do the Metal Sheep.
You do. It's a nice effect where the coins end up from one hand to the other, basically. So you have all the silver and all the copper, and then they swap around.
Yeah. There's the card to match box.
Brilliant.
Which
brilliant.
It's not a signed card.
It's not, no, but it seems very fair because the card that they there's a force that I've never seen before. So they get the card, and that card is not in the deck; it has vanished. And the matchbox they've already opened once and removed a match from it, or a magic wand, has now got the card into it and has been on the table the full time.
Right. So that's the reason why it's so strong.
So strong, yeah. They open the matchbox. You need, when they close it and put it down, it's done, isn't it? The dirty work's done. Which that method alone I'm going to be using even if I don't use that routine. So brilliant, Chris. Thank you.
It's probably one of the strongest non-signed card revelations I've probably. That's quite a claim, but it's for a non-signed card revelation. It's quite strong.
Yeah.
Because of that fact, they've seen the matchbox empty.
Yeah.
And all you've done is close the box, and you've gone nowhere near it.
Yeah, they can close the box really, and you've got nowhere near it. They can put it in their pocket or on the table where it's in plain sight. Brilliant.
The other one which we pulled out was Fireballs.
Fantastic. Absolutely love it. I saw this in a lecture a long time ago. I work it now all the time. It's my favourite trick on the DVD, and it's probably one of my favourite tricks in my close-up case at the moment. I do it at tables, I do it on a bar. Anywhere you've got a flat surface, you can do it. Yeah, brilliant, nice little routine. Tell a good story with it. Surprise ending and fire.
And the surprise ending actually with the shallots at the end.
Oh yeah, Gary uses a shallot, isn't it?
That's self-working as well.
Yeah.
Which, a cups and balls load normally isn't self-working, you need a bit of confidence, but the way he's structured this, that's self-working as well.
Brilliant.
So that's really good. And there's also Free Phone.
Free Phone, I use this, I've used this for a long time. It's borrowed items, and then it's you text a prediction to them. So you get their number, you text it. And the way that Chris has designed the routine and the ideas that he's had, the text message that you send, as well as being the prediction, has also got a thank you for being entertained by, and then your website, your details, your contact details that they're going to keep with them and remember. So it's a free choice principle where they're in complete control, and you've proved that you knew it from the end. It always ends well. Some endings, there's multiple outs, some are better than others, they're all strong, and they have your contact details, and this does get you bookings.
And one that I picked out that I quite liked, purely for the fact that it's customisable is 34.
Yeah.
There's a bit of procedure to it. You end up laying out a grid of cards on the table, so you do need a table and to be sort of sat down with people, because you couldn't do it at a dinner table because there'd be too much on the table to lay everything out.
No.
But for one of those moments afterwards, or if you're just showing friends down the pub or something like that, or even a trade show, which is where I thought where you could have
Because
people
it's so
coming along,
customisable. Yeah.
and you can customise the end reveal there, which could be towards the client's product. You could even do it as a winning draw kind of thing, that you go through the process and it ends up telling them that they've won a prize.
Yeah, or you could even make it say "Happy Birthday, dear Sandra" at the end of it.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so open for customisation. Once you've gone through it a couple of times in your head as well, it's a nice, easy process to remember. Because you put coins on, don't you, and they all add up to the same amount, which adds up to the same amount as the numbers on the cards.
And there's like 2 or 3 hits, isn't there?
Yeah.
I can't remember how many exactly now off the top of my head, but you've got hit, hit, hit rather than just one effect, which
very close.
Which what makes it stand out. The other 4 on there, they're by no means bad.
No.
The fact that we've not mentioned them.
There's a fantastic poker cheat routine where you end up with 5 aces, which I don't know if you've done any poker routines, but when the audience sees like a full house or something, they don't know there's the scoring system in poker, but when they see 5 aces, they know that not only is it a good hand, but there's something not right. Yeah. It's very good.
So, Automator, if we're going to rate this, as far as well, for a start, you mentioned the DVD, very well produced.
Yeah, perfect.
Teaching's good. Tricks are pretty much they are self-working. Just follow the instructions, they work. The strange thing is, for a self-working trick DVD, you've actually got routines in here that you can go out and work for money.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And you haven't got to be ashamed of the fact that you're doing basically a self-working trick.
There's no shame in that.
But some magicians will say, "Oh no, you've got to do sleight of hand. If you're a professional magician, you've got to do this. You've got to do that." And yes, every professional magician's got a certain amount of skill, but they shouldn't be ashamed of doing something if it's self-working.
Because the entertainment is so good. The one we missed off is one where a borrowed ring goes from one large pin to another in front of them. It's real close-up magic. If somebody phoned up and said, "I'm just getting into magic, I know a couple of tricks, what DVD would you suggest?" That would be one of the first things that I would say to them from out of the stuff that we stock. I think it's brilliant. Yeah,
it gives you a good variety of tricks as well. And I'm one for variety as well, because I don't believe in doing card trick. I've heard people say, "Oh, I can entertain people for 2 hours just with a pack of cards and nothing else." You probably could, but I think once someone's seen a card trick and a card trick and a card trick and a card trick, that there are different reveals and different things you can do with cards, but I like to vary it up, so they might only see one card trick, and then it might be something with coins or cups and bits of flash paper, as you say here.
Anything that you can set fire to is always a winner. But yeah, perfect.
Yeah. So you can tell we like it. So let's cut straight to the scoring. As far as myself, I do use. I've been using the metal sheet routine. The fireballs I've not got around to actually, but it will be one that I'll.
Yeah, you're missing out.
So the fact that I'm going to use it, and the matchbox as well, I've just not got around to getting a matchbox, but that for the sake of not having to worry about remembering a routine, because it's just so easy to do, the matchbox routine, it's so simple. So I'm going to give this 5 stars, 5 stars for the hobbyist and casual performer, and also 5 rings for the professional performer, because there's definitely stuff on here that I will work, and I'm working. And how about you, Tom?
Yeah, 5 for both. It's one of my favourite things that we've talked about so far. No one's going to regret buying this DVD. I know they say, "Oh, there's something for everyone," but there really is. And yeah, there's 9 effects, and I work over half of them, and some of them I will work every single table. So
great.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next one, In a Flash.
So back to the past then, because we both said that we've both had a history with this.
Yeah, we like fire.
Yeah.
When you're performing for people, there's nothing that gets people's attention better, even across the room, because if someone's sort of leaning over, looking at what you're doing, thinking, "What's that guy doing over there?" and a burst of fire comes, they're suddenly interested before you even get there. And if it just has to be the first table that you're at, the people that are there are, "Whoa!" when a burst of flames. Even when you approach something with this, when you approach flash paper with a lighter, people don't really know what's going to happen to it. And when you light it and it goes up, Actually, while we're talking about flash paper, a recent addition onto the website this month, I'll mention it now, is the Sparkle flash paper.
Which is a big favourite of mine. I use it all the time.
And if you imagine the sparklers that you get at bonfire night that give off, you know, the little sparks. It's flash paper that goes in a flash.
Burns quick and bright.
But you get the little sparkle bits jump off as well, which just add that. I love it. It's great.
It's fantastic. If you want to produce anything in a flash, it's so good. I made a joke that you can almost do it in slow motion because it's so bright and everyone does that. You can just take anything from your pocket and it will be there. Or yeah.
But anyway, back to the trick in a flash. It's a trick where you borrow you can borrow a coin or use your own coin. They can sign the coin.
Yeah, borrow a signed coin.
Or if you don't want to be cleaning the coin up, you can just use I use the thing that I say, well, you were the last one to touch that coin. We'll just put it into this little bit of paper so I can't touch it. And then put it on the deck, and when you light it, the coin burns down through the pack
to the pre-selected signed card
and stops on top of the signed card.
So I like doing it with couples because there's a joke there as well. Like you get the woman sign the card, the man gives the money because the woman always gets the man's money, and then you get a beautiful burnt out.
The hole in the cards is like a funny jagged.
In fact, we've got some live performance of this.
Yeah, we have, so we can put that up on the screen. And we'll talk over that. The cards. I won't show the gimmick on camera, but the holes are like an irregular shape.
Yes, it's burnt. You're left with burnt out cards. I always used to talk about going back to the past when I was first performing and first starting to do tables and top tables. I'd always end with this because obviously you've got a destroyed pack of cards. But it was something special where you did borrow items and you did when I was new to performing, I was only doing very simple card effects and didn't do much with coins. It meant that it was slightly different.
People do say with this when you do it, they say you've just ruined half a deck of cards, and they'd say it all the time. So
you have. In their eyes, there's no other way to it.
But they genuinely believe that the coin has burned down.
Yeah.
Which surprises me sometimes, but that's what they say.
You can play on it as well. You can be careful. It is hot. I won't burn you, but it's going to be warm, and you get people that don't want to put their hand out.
The DVD, the teaching is very good. Jay Sankey's very good teacher.
Jay Sankey's. This is probably Jay Sankey's best in my opinion as well. It's one of my favourite effects that he's done, and that's quite a big statement. He's done a lot, and a lot of the stuff he's done has been good. But it's my favourite Jay Sankey effect.
Yeah, I'd agree with that as well. Definitely mine. So from a scoring point of view, you can probably see there's 2 lots of 5s coming from me. Stars and rings.
Yeah, we're going to get a reputation here, but yeah, definitely.
I could possibly knock it down to like 4.5 because I've got this used to be in my number 1 sort of set that I perform, and I still do it fairly regularly actually. So I suppose technically it should be 4 stars, but I used to do it in my 8 set all the time, and it is a really good effect. I used to link it in with Wow by Masuda that we also stock, which if you've not checked that out, have a look, and I link 2 effects together using the same deck of cards, so at least I get 2 tricks out of the 1 deck.
I like it for that one last trick. So when you've packed everything up, you leave in and you say goodbye and you say, I can do one more. Because it destroys your cut. It's a nice end. You're like, well, I've got to go now anyway. But thank you very much. And then you get a big round of applause. And
Okay. Right, so in a flash, did you rate it?
It's going to have to be 5, isn't it?
5 and 5, okay. Okay, we thought we'd throw a quick performance in actually of Tom doing In a Flash. The effect is you get someone to pick one of the cards. And then they sign the card. You can actually, with this, I normally carry my own coin with me. I use a 10p piece. You can use a £1 coin, 20p, any coin that's a little bit smaller than a 10p will do. So they sign the card. Card goes then back into the deck. What Tom's doing here at the minute, he's just borrowing a coin actually off the girl there and getting them to initial the coin as well. So there's no doubt that it's actually the same coin that you're actually using during the routine, so you can initial it or not have it initialed. I normally carry it around, so I've got one at hand straight away just to keep the routine going. But as Tom's done there, you can borrow the coin. So you've had the card signed and the coin signed, their coin. Okay, then he introduces a little bit of tissue paper, and the coin is wrapped in the tissue paper. We've got a good range of this actually. Flash paper at Saturn Magic, we've got the larger sheets, we've got the 3x2 flash pads, and also sparkle flash pads, which Tom's actually using a normal one here, but the sparkle ones give off a bit of a sparkle, like a sparkler would a firework. So he puts the coin on top of the pack, brings out the lighter, he then sets fire to the tissue paper, push, up it goes in a flash. The coin burns down through the deck of cards, stops on one card, give them the coin, give them their signed card. I can see all the rest have got holes in, apart right down to that one there, and there it is.
I wish I knew how you did that.
So do I.
I wasn't watching very well. That's pretty cool.
So moving on to the last thing, this black piece of material here is it's called Devil's Hank Corner, and that describes exactly what it is. It's a devil's hanky, but instead of the gimmick being along the edge, normally the gimmick's like here somewhere, it's actually on the corner, which means when you gather up the folds of the cloth, like so, it's actually, for those of you that don't know, a devil's hanky used for vanishing something. So you could do a mobile phone, you could do, a mobile phone's probably about as big as you want the banana, for the vanishing bandana. The bandanas that come with the vanishing bandana are pretty horrible. Some of them look terrible, some of them look like pyjamas and so on. This is quite classy, so if you're stood there in a nice suit, you can see, if I hold this up nearer to the camera, you can see it's a nice black kind of satiny kind of material, so it looks good, looks professional, and you can drop in the item, and when you open, it's disappeared. And then you proceed with your routine however you want to do it. So it's not really a trick in its own right, it's more a utility item to use in conjunction with another trick. But I thought I'd bring this up because when I find items that I do use myself, this particular one, when I find an item that's much better than the pink pyjama-y ones, which I think we might still have some of those in stock actually, which there's nothing wrong with those, they're half the price of this. This one sells for $13.99, which isn't a fortune, but the other ones are a lot cheaper. I think they're about £5-6 maybe not even that. But for $13.99 you get a devil's hanky that works very well and does the job. Now, you never use one.
No, I was just going to say, I can guarantee, I can back it up, the quality is good, the stitching and stuff's really good, it's going to last. But yeah, for me, it's I've got no need for it, it's not something that I've got a space for in a performance. So yes, it's good quality, and it is advanced quality to the other ones that are available. I can't rate it on anything other than quality though, so it's going to be a 3 from me.
Right, okay. So that's it for this week. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time.
See you later.